And we're live.
Welcome back, everyone. Episode 48 of Kids Deserve It. We hope you've been enjoying our weekly chats with educators and game changers from around the country. Also, don't forget, you can check us out on iTunes.
And also, don't forget to pick up a copy of Kids Deserve It, the book, on Amazon today. And remember, while you're waiting for it to come in, you can get the Kindle version for $2.99. For just a couple hours left today as well, we also have Kids Deserve It shirts. And they won't be back again until December. So if you want to pick up a neon, a regular, a women's V-neck, or a brand new baseball tees, you can pick them up for just a couple hours more.
3 more hours. This week, we got another great guest, but first we want to introduce ourselves. I am Adam Welcome, Director of Innovation and Technology in the Bay Area of California.
I'm Todd Nesloni, Elementary School Principal in Navasota, Texas. And our special guest this week is Sandra. Sandra, welcome to the show.
Oh my God. Hey, welcome. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm Sandra Menxueiro. I'm the principal at Farias Early Childhood Center. I just can't believe I'm here. Like, I'm a big fan. And when I met, Todd in one of the conferences, I was like, oh my God. And I can't believe I'm here. That's all I'm going to say. And I talk too much, so.
Well, Sandra, we are so excited to have you on tonight. We have been following you and seeing some of the great stuff you're doing. So thanks for being here. We also want to remind our viewers to participate in social media. We love checking out all the learning that's taking place as you watch or listen to these episodes later on iTunes. So make sure you share out your learning with the hashtag Kids Deserve It as well.
So Sandra, of course, we got a few questions for you. So for those of us who don't know who you are, tell us about yourself.
Well, I've been in education in the same district, Houston ISD, for 16, 17 years since I came to this country. And I am, I have this amazing group of educators, behind me. I'm a principal. Like I said, I started my career in education as a teacher, bilingual teacher. And I was a teacher for 11 years, believe it or not, mostly, pre-K, K first. And then I moved to professional development. I felt that that was a part that I needed to do before becoming an administrator. I always wanted to be a principal. So I was there for 2 years. And it was amazing. I learned so much, and I think I conquered one of my biggest fears, which is speaking in front of everybody. Like right now, I feel, I don't know, I'm going to have a heart attack because I'm like here. I keep looking at my phone and I'm thinking, it's my phone. Nobody's watching. But, and then after my
People
2
are
years,
watching.
Yeah, so after my 2 years in professional development, pretty much I got this amazing opportunity by Dr. Greer. And I love early childhood education, but I also love coaching teachers, other leaders, and that's what I do. And then, of course, I've met a lot of people on Twitter. I was not on Twitter at all, Todd knows, but I got energized at one of the conferences. One was what great educators do differently. And I was like, okay, I'm going to open up my account. And then during another conference with a principal, Dan Greenberg at Condit Elementary here in HISD, I asked him, I'm like, we need a chat for leaders. And he was like, yeah, all for it. And we started doing it. And since then, it's been like crazy. I mean, that's who I am.
I love it. Well, Sandra, what is something that you've accomplished this last year that you're really proud of?
Oh my God, getting all my teachers, all my community, and so many principals on Twitter. It's been a huge journey. I remember the first time that I told my teachers, they're like, what? One more thing to do? And I'm like, hey, we're going to start. This is like Facebook. We're just going to share ideas. And then Ms. Tames and Ms. Barrientos, one of my teachers and my dual language coordinators, they started a dual language chat. And now I see my parents tweeting. We just had this huge Farias Global Parade. That's the hashtag, Farias Global Parade. And my parents were just like sharing and just getting my parents to come to the front office and be like, I don't have Twitter, please help me. And so it's been a huge journey. We got a new superintendent in HISD. So Mr. Carranza, and he's on Twitter, and just seeing all of this energy going around on Twitter and getting my teachers to learn and join other chats. I mean, that's like one of my biggest accomplishments. It's amazing.
It definitely is a life changer. It's so funny. Todd and I have similar stories, you know, signing up and not doing much with it. And then it just like totally taken off. So Twitter is one of the amazing things, but what's one of the hardest parts of being in education for you?
Just staying current, building relationships with my teachers in a way so that, you know, my main focus always is our students. You know, I always tell them it is not about being comfortable as an adult, but making sure that we are adding value to our students. So I think that I'm a pusher, and sometimes knowing that boundary of pushing so much, but then letting them do their thing and trusting them and just being quiet for a bit, sometimes that's a challenge.
Right.
Because, yeah, go ahead.
No, well, you know, I completely agree with you. It's sometimes just letting them figure it out and do it, but then wanting to make sure they actually jump into it and get involved and build those. I love how you talk about building those relationships too. But what about school for you growing up, Sandra? What was school like for you?
You know, school was really easy for me because I was a really good student. I was a really good student. So I didn't have a lot of challenges growing up. I had an amazing family. And it wasn't until I came here to the United States and I started hearing about education, I became a teacher, and I was like, oh my God. So that wasn't how I grew up. So learning about my communities, my families, their challenges, and understanding how could I add value to them without taking away their heritage and their traditions and, you know, that kind of thing. So
you wanted to be a teacher after you came to the United States. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So
Yes.
what kind of signaled that change in you that coming over here made you want to be a teacher?
So I came here with my husband, and I have really good opportunities. And because of my education, I was getting these opportunities here in the United States. I didn't have to work, but then I heard from a friend, and like I said, I heard about the challenges. And even though I had an education and I spoke English back then, it wasn't like I'm doing it right now. It was like, I remember I took a class in college when I came here just to get a feel of it. And I remember I sat there, and the first 3 classes, all I heard was like, and I'm like, oh Lord. I mean, and I went to college, and I thought I spoke English, but, you know, listening. So it took me, I would say, like 6 months to really get my brain in my ear. And I really got passionate about bilingual education. I was like, this is exactly what students feel. Going into a classroom is just survival mode, just going, blah, 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 blah. That's all you hear. So, and of course, you know, helping my community and helping my people, that's really what got me into education, pretty much.
So I was going to ask a follow-up question. You said school was easy for you. So then I was wondering, as a principal, is it hard to relate to kids maybe that school is not easy for you? But then after college, it sounds like, you know, because everybody school was easy for me, and then it got hard in middle school and high school. And then in college, I kind of just found my place, you know. So sometimes, depending on your experience, especially as a principal, you know, trying to focus on those kids that, you know, school is not always designed for every student, right? We got to adapt and stuff. So what are your thoughts?
I feel that even though I didn't have challenges, I witnessed a lot of things growing up. But it wasn't until, like I said, I came here to the United States that I realized, for example, the importance of our students feeling welcome. I feel that sometimes our students don't feel like they don't belong on the other country because they were born here, but still that, clash of cultures between the family and the school. I see it with my son right now. We speak Spanish we speak Spanish at home, that's it. And he doesn't speak Spanish. He speaks English, and somehow he feels embarrassed to speak Spanish. So, for example, if we go out and we're with friends and I'm speaking Spanish to him, he's like, Mom, you speak English to me. You don't speak Spanish to me. Mm. And I realized that, and I'm like, Papi, you should be proud of this. In the future, you're going to see how helpful Spanish is. And he's like, yeah, I know, but I understand. I don't need to speak it. Mm. So, that kind of thing really, that's why I'm so into global education. I think that global education should not be only for the privileged. It should be part of our curriculum regardless, because we need to make our students feel welcome. And even our parents, I do a lot of things at our school so that our parents feel welcome. And I try to find out, like, okay, what do they like? They like planting. Let's create an outdoor classroom where they can come and work with the kids and that kind of thing. So just trying to find avenues,
right,
to build relationships so that everybody feels welcome, our teachers, our parents, and our students.
Adam, you're muted.
So when you're having one of those, my son's crying in the background. Sorry, so I'm muted. Daddy.
Yeah, I have like, a 3-year-old.
Poppy, right? Oh my gosh, I got a 3-year-old. So when you're having one of those days and like you just don't want to go to school, you don't want to get out of bed, what do you do to kick yourself into gear to get there and to get after it for the kids?
Oh my God, I think about the amazing, amazing teachers that I have at work. And regardless of what kind of day they're having, they wake up, they have the best attitude. Even if they're having a hard day, they're sharing pictures and videos of what's happening in their classrooms. And then I see the reaction of the parents. So, of course, as parents, we don't have that choice. We wake up and we're like, okay, it's hard. It's Monday. And my 3-year-old is like, Mommy, I want pancakes. I'm like, no, honey, it's Monday. We're having quick cereal right now. But I keep thinking about my teachers. I keep thinking about my students and how much they learn in our early childhood center, because many of our teachers refer to our school as our little Harvard. And it's true. We have moved. We have learned so much, especially with Twitter. And our kids are coding, our kids are using technology, they're making blog entries every day. Like I said, I see my parents on Twitter, I see my teachers creating chats for themselves to learn. They stay after school to learn about QR codes, that kind of thing. So that gets me going. I'm like, yeah. I can be behind, I'm the leader, so I have to be pumped and I have to show up. And I'm known to have a lot of energy. I don't know.
Just a little bit.
It's just so I guess that's what just keeps me going and thinking, our mission at Farias is to develop students that are capable, confident, and thoroughly prepared. And I just keep thinking about that. Are we doing a good job today doing that?
Well, Sandra, who is someone that inspires or challenges you to be better?
Okay, so I have so many edu heroes, in my life. Of course, Todd, you're one of them. You know this. When I met you, I'm like, he's a ninja. Like, he can summarize a conference for you in 2 seconds. But I will tell you something. My previous principal, and he's not on Twitter, and I'm trying to get him on Twitter, Daryl Sherman, he's one of my biggest inspirations, and now he's an SSO. He's no longer a principal, and an SSO in HISD he's about principals. He coaches principals and help us grow. So he's really tough with me. It's tough love, but he really pushes my thinking, and he comes to my campus and he's like, no, Sandra, I think you need to do this and that. But I think I also learned a lot from, I'm going to say, my Easy Chat group. I mean, Haiti, Bill, and Nancy. I mean, I've learned so much from them. That's how I started doing. And my lead up chat crew, that's how I met most of you. And but who else is an inspiration? Seeing Gaylord from Celebrate Monday. Who else? All of my teachers. You know, I have one teacher in specifically, Miss Tamez, and she always says, you know, I'm inspired by you. I'm like, no, girl, I'm inspired by you, because she's my instructional technologist at the library. She used to be a teacher. She was a TA, and I pushed her to finish college so that she could become a teacher. And now she's my instructional technologist. And oh my God, she is just amazing. But I would say, I mean, I have so many people right now. I'm telling you, our new superintendent, he's just blowing my mind, because building relationships and working on, or making our kids feel welcome. I'm very in tune with his mission, so I'm inspired by that too. He is taking the time to listen to all of the leaders. But I would say, like I said, my biggest inspiration is Daryl Sherman, and I would always be grateful for just work for him. It wasn't easy at the beginning. He gave me a boot camp at the beginning, but I learned so much, and somehow I feel that I'm like a little copy of him right now as a principal.
Nice. So Sandra, every week we like our guests to leave a challenge for our viewers. What is your challenge for the week?
Okay, this is my challenge for you. And Joe Sanfilippo always says, you either tell your story or somebody else will. So tomorrow, my challenge is share the amazing things that are happening in your classroom, in your campus, in your district, at your office, whatever. Even if you're in central office, you can trend the positive. You can use a hashtag, trend the positive, or celebrate Monday. But if it's not Monday, you can still trend the positive. And you know what? I feel like we start the week in a different way when we highlight the positive, and people, I don't know, it's contagious. And you start feeling like, okay, well, if she's sharing that, I think that I'm doing an amazing job with my calendar. So why not take a picture? So that would be my challenge tomorrow, to at least post one tweet or share something positive. If you're not on Twitter, share something positive with someone. Hey, you know what? Today I did this amazing lesson in my classroom, and I want to share it with you.
That would be my challenge. I think that is the perfect challenge, because especially with the election looming on Tuesday, we need to share as much positive as we can. But Sandra, thank you so much for being on with us tonight. I love getting to hear from you and hear a little bit of your story and hear your passion. So I really appreciate your time.
Oh my God, thank you so much for inviting me. Like I said, I cannot believe, I think this is kind of a dream. And then I'm going to see it on Twitter and be like, oh, it really happened. But it is my pleasure to be with you guys. I mean, I love your book. And by the way, I want to bring you to my campus, because I want to keep doing this and just motivating people to do more in education. So thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Sandra.
Hey,
so great to have you.
We want to thank our viewers as well for checking out the show. Remember to tweet us at Kids Deserve It, or use the hashtag Kids Deserve It to share out the awesome stuff you're doing every day in your classrooms. Make sure you check out our next guest, who is going to be Alice Chin. Have a great evening, everyone.
Bye.